Okay, so I don't think you understand the severity of this situation. After countless years of thousands of users complaining about how old Goodreads looks, how outdated the platform is, how it's not super user-friendly, Goodreads has just announced introducing our new logo and more ways we can continue to improve Goodreads. So what exactly does this mean? So if you're like me, then you've been on the Goodreads platform for a little too long. I've been on Goodreads since August 2013, last active this month. That means that I've been using Goodreads since I was 12 years old. Let that sink in for a minute. I'm currently 24 years old, and most days I feel like I'm 40. I feel like Goodreads was here before the internet, which I know doesn't make any sense because obviously you need the internet to use a website like Goodreads. Nonetheless, my point is I am a dedicated user of this platform, and I've been here through thick and thin, through all of the complaints, even though I've been one of the naggers. So imagine my surprise when one day I was just scrolling on my phone to see that the Goodreads logo had changed. And I thought to myself, there is no way. After all of these years, Amazon has finally decided to listen to the thousands of relentless customers complaining about the platform. Change is coming, change is here. Only to be disappointed that the change we have is a logo? But sorry, more specifically, a new logo designed to better represent Goodreads and is optimized for accessibility so it looks clear and sharp no matter where you see it, from your phone to a billboard. The lowercase g incorporates a magnifying glass over an open book, symbolizing the book discovery and sharing of perspectives that are at the heart of the Goodreads experience. So if you're like me and you haven't moved to any of the alternatives yet from Goodreads like Storygraph, then you were definitely rolling your eyes when you read that, just like me. Here's the thing, I'm all here for more accessibility. As someone who doesn't struggle with vision, I cannot particularly tell you from lived experience whether or not this font is more accessible. I do agree it's cute, and I see where they're going with the little book and the lamp. I think it looks adorable. But for God's sakes, look at the color of the page. The color of Goodreads will always shock me that they can get away with this ugly cream tan beige color. I don't even know how to describe it. I'll never forget when they started changing the colors around for the yearly challenges, and every year one of my favorite booktubers, Ariel Bissett, she's one of the OGs and she's from Canada, so I love you, Ariel. I know you're not watching, but I just want to say, love your videos, you're a big reason why I'm here. And I remember she would have a video every year talking about the new Goodreads color. And at the time, I thought to myself, this is cute and it's something to look forward to. But now with time and as I'm getting older, I realized, is that really all we have to be excited for from a new platform? Is simply the color that they choose for their new yearly challenge? I think Amazon can do better. So here's some things that I actually think that the platform should implement, and this is not just my opinion, this is also things that I'm hearing from other people. Hello, so you might be asking yourself, why do I look a little bit different? Well, my old footage for some reason is not here, so I had to re-record some of the clips, so I apologize in advance. So getting started with some of the things I think that Goodreads should really change. Number one is the interface of their website. I know they have an app version of this as well, but just to make it a little bit easier, I'm just going to be referring to the website version today. So we take a look, and in my opinion, I feel very scattered and overwhelmed just looking at everything here right now. On the top left-hand corner, you have 4 different tabs. You have Home, My Books, Browse, and Community. Personally, I've only used Home, which takes you to this page, and then My Books. I've never really used Browse or Community before, but I'll get into that in a sec. And then what's the first thing that you see when you click on this webpage? A big freaking ad. And then what's on the right-hand side? Another freaking ad. And then we scroll down, what do we see? Ads, okay? And before I had an ad here for Audible, now it's playing nice and it's not showing you the Amazon branded ads. I get it, a company's gonna market themselves, that's not necessarily a crime, but the fact that ads even exist in the first place, it's like, for why? I think this is just a bigger talk and discussion on Amazon in general, because I recently found out that Amazon Prime also has ads, which I don't remember that being a thing when I first subscribed many years ago. And now when I watch Prime Video, I'm literally interrupted by ads every like half an hour. Beyond that, when we're looking here at the interface, there's a lot going on. On the left-hand side, we have some statistics, so things that I'm currently reading, as well as my reading challenge of this year, and also the things I want to read. And then in the middle, we have awkwardly sandwiched here our update feed. So this is people that you have followed or are friends with on Goodreads, and they show you through the platform sort of the different things that they're up to in their reading life. And then the right-hand side is a bunch of random stuff like news and interviews. Again, never have clicked on this. Recommendations. Maybe fair, but honestly, I'm not going to a website like this for recommendations. This is why we have BookTube and other parts of the internet, I feel like, and just a bunch of other things that I feel like are not really helpful. At the end of the day, most of this information is great. It's just the way and the choice that they choose to display it is not really good, and it's not really conducive for the user, if that makes sense. I feel like it's just not super user friendly. Like, I keep saying that word, but it's so true. And then let's quickly go to the 2025 reading challenge and just all the reading challenges in general. So again, there's good information here, and I like that recently Goodreads has finally implemented some achievements, or really just some goals that readers can look forward to. But if we're being really honest, a lot of these goals are boring and mundane at best. Like for all of the different months of the year, they essentially want you to read at least one book. Not really riveting stuff, especially if you're using Goodreads. Chances are you're a pretty avid reader. And even if you're not, I don't think that reading one book a month is necessarily something that needs to be absolutely rewarded. Like, hey, if you never read in your life and you read a book in a month, like, good for you. I'm absolutely not knocking on that. I just don't think it's something that should be used every single month. It feels very copy paste and honestly just lazy. Like, for example, January reader. What if instead of New Year, New Reads, collecting the achievement by finishing any book this month, what if we change it to read a book where the main character's name is January? Or read a book where it takes place during New Year's? Have a theme for every month. Diversify your reading goals. There are some that are like, for example, nailed it. So collect this achievement by setting and reaching your ending goal. That's a good example of a goal that I feel like makes more sense and it's more specific. I also would love to see reading challenges be adapted to each individual user. So maybe it's something that you want to challenge yourself on. For example, this year I challenged myself to read more smut. So it'd be great if I could have a custom goal that says read 3 smut books this year or read 2 nonfiction books, like whatever that may look like for you. And then we scroll down and it's showing me the books that I've read and they're listed in chronological order. So it's not necessarily bad. It's just, again, there's no flavor. It lacks taste. There's just nothing really grabbing my interest here. Again, customizable features that are user-friendly and allow the user to feel more involved with the platform, I think is really key. And this sort of goes along with my previous idea, but also having a revamp with My Year in Books. I was really happy when this was introduced. I don't remember this always being here. I think this is like a 3 or 4 year old invention. But again, it's plain, there's not a lot going on, there's not a lot of flexibility on the user end to really have the choice on what they want to display here. So we see here it shows some basic statistics like how many pages I read and how many books I read. I have the ability to share this with people, shortest, longest books. It's very statistics heavy, which is not a bad thing. I'm a nerd and I love my numbers. But it's just boring. I'm scrolling through, they're showing me my first review of the year, then you can just see all the books that I had in my last review of the year. I would love to see like a Spotify wrapped version almost of Goodreads, and I think it'd be really cute if they were like, what's the most genre you've read this year? What's a new author that you discovered? What's the longest book that you've read, the shortest book that you've read? But have that put into some sort of interactive activity or something else that would make the user feel more involved with the process rather than just having this really basic and formulaic thing that I can scroll down on. And last but not least, this might be just me trying to de-Amazon my life, even though I still use Prime because I can't help myself. I used to use Kindle Unlimited. I don't anymore. I love my Kobo. But for God's sake, we need to stop linking Amazon products to Goodreads. I understand that Amazon owns the company and they own the domain, so they can do whatever the freak they like. But it really is pushing away users that maybe just simply don't have a Kindle or don't really care enough to connect their Kindle or any of their Amazon products to Goodreads. As you can see here in the article, they talk about how they've expanded their catalog to now include more than 1 million audiobooks. As someone who also uses Audible, kind of with guilt, I want to just say I don't really care about this. I've literally never had an issue cataloging any of my audiobooks. Just to show you, I literally have under my profile and my bookshelves, I have a shelf called audiobooks. So I've just put the audiobooks, and I've literally never thought to myself I need a better way to do that because it's just cataloging a book. I understand that they're saying there's an expansion of our catalog to help authors and publishers that are now Goodreads members can see when your books are available in audiobook format. But again, the internet is so vast. News spreads like wildfire. I really don't think we need this built into the platform, especially when there's countless other things that I think users are actually asking for and demanding. At the end of the day, I am still shamelessly a Goodreads user. As someone who's been on the platform for a very long time, I honestly can't see myself ever going away. But I don't like what Amazon is doing. I don't appreciate that Goodreads still feels like a very outdated and not super user-friendly platform. I do think that the changes that they're making now have some meaning, and it's a step in the right direction for sure, so I don't want to completely knock on them. But I think if they actually want to see sustainable change and making sure that they're really retaining engagement on their platform, they should be listening to users that have these consistent complaints over the years and really implement the things that we want to see, and that would actually make our day-to-day experiences with the platform easier and more fun. Let me know what your thoughts are on Goodreads down below. I'm very curious to see if you've ever used the platform. Do you use something else? Have you now migrated? Have you never used Goodreads and just been cataloging your books in a different way? As someone who loves using Goodreads and just loves having a way to look back at all the books that I've read and everything I used to think about certain genres and certain reads, it's really valuable for me to have in my life as a reader. But I will still be here knocking down Amazon every single day and any chance that I get. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.